ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्याद्य शंकरादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमातुः समस्तगुरूणां परमात्मनः अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्तिकल्याणार्थं साधकभक्तधार्मिक सेवकजनानां विघ्ननिवारण शक्तिसम्पदा सामर्थ्यवाप्त्यर्थं कलिसन्तरण उपनिषदः पारायणं तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणम्। In our sequence of paراयणम्स we have done so beautifully complete Mahanarayana Upanishad chanting. Then we took up and completely chanted Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Then we took up and did the Chandogya Upanishad. And then yesterday we have done the Parayanam of Shvetashvatara Upanishad. These are all the big Upanishads. Now 5-6 minor Upanishads are there. We will just chant them. Once we get the book, then we will do all the 108 Upanishads. If somebody has got that link, they can send it. Now we will do today Kalisantarana Upanishad Parayanam, followed by our Taittiriya Upanishad Adhyanam. Om Atha Kalisantarana Upanishad. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। ओम द्वापरान्ते नारदः ब्रह्माणं जगाम कथं भगवन् गां पर्यटन् कलिं संतरेयम् इति सहोवाच ब्रह्मा साधु पृष्ठोऽस्मि सर्वश्रुतिरहस्यं गोप्यं तच्छृणु येन कलि संसारं तरिष्यसि भगवतः आदिपुरुषस्य नारायणस्य नामोच्चारणमात्रेण निर्धूत कलिः भवति। नारदः पुनः पप्रच्छ तन्नाम किम् इति। सहोवाच हिरण्यगर्भः हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे इति षोडशकं नाम्नां कलिकल्मषनाशनं न अतः परतरा उपायः सर्ववेदेषु दृश्यते इति षोडशकलस्य जीवस्य आवरणविनाशनं ततः प्रकाशते परं ब्रह्म मेघापाये रविरश्मिमण्डली इव इति। पुनर्नारदः पप्रच्छ भगवन् कोऽस्य विधिः इति। तं होवाच न अस्य विधिः इति। सर्वदा शुचिः अशुचिर्वा पठन् ब्राह्मणः सलोकतां समीपतां सरूपतां सायुज्यताम् एति। यदा अस्य षोडशीकस्य सार्धत्रिकोटिर्जपति तदा ब्रह्महत्यां तरति वीरहत्यां स्वर्णस्तेयात् पूतो भवति। पितृदेवमनुष्याणाम् अपकारात् पूतो भवति। सर्वधर्मपरित्याग पापात् सद्यः शुचिताम् आप्नुयात्। सद्यो मुच्यते सद्यो मुच्यते इति उपनिषत्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णे यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषत्। ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रणीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनाम्हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। ॐ अथ शान्तिमन्त्रः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत तद्वक्तारमावीत आवीन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ प्रथमोऽनुवाकः। ॐ ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेदनिहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चितेति। तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाश सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरापः अद्यः पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणः पक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Salutations to Bhagavan Vyasa, Vaishambhayana, Yajnavalkya, Adya Shankara. Salutations to the entire Acharya, Guru, Rishimuni, Devata, Parampara. Salutations to the Parabrahma Tattva. Salutations to our own Shruti Mata. Unless the truth is experienced as it is, there is no mukti from the untruth. Unless one becomes deeply meditative, the truth cannot be comprehended as it is. Unless one is detached from the outer world, he cannot meditate. Unless one comes to a matured level of life, of focusing his attention on the mind, that because the mind only, the world is there and samsara is there, and the Paramatma or the self is not realized, therefore all the troubles. And thus one who starts living at the mind, and there also more than concerned about the thoughts of the mind, the one who is concerned about the mood or the mode of the mind, and understands that when the mind is in the rajasic or tamasic mood or the mode, it always will be in the delusion and in the extrovertedness and in the pursuit of the external shabda sparsha adi, along with the related every type of disturbing, unwanted, uncalled for emotions in the mind. Unless we discover it, the attention should be not on what are there in the mind as thoughts, but the mind itself in which mood it is there. That it is in tamasic mode, it is in rajasic mode or sattvic. In the Rajasic and Tamasic mood, the mind will have extrovertedness, restlessness. Mind will have so many of the kama, the vikara. For the fulfillment of it, lot of activities are done. Then, with regard to the result, again lot of agitation, disturbances in the mind will be there. This is how the mode generally of all of us when we are overpowered by rajas tamas. Then the desire that I must bring my antakarana or the mana to the sataguna. Then only any of the spiritual sadhanas can be done with perfect understanding, perfection, as well as effectiveness. And then to bring that mind to the calmness, to the quietness, to that single pointedness, to that subtlety, to that purity, whatever has to be done, we should be ready to do. In that, the upasanas are there, japa adi are there, which are the positive things of which we have to do the abhyasa. The other things are there, what continuously in the mood of inquiry, contemplation regarding all the things with which we are entangled in, we are involving in, we are indulgent in, knowing that all of them are binding, knowing that they are there only when we give them reality, knowing that they are not actually real but they are projections, knowing that when we start giving importance to them, they slowly go away from us. With all this background knowledge, theoretical, practically to the required time, sufficient time, we put the efforts, then the hold of this mind on the hold on the mind starts getting reduced. To that extent, we gather the scattered mind to calmness, quietness, single pointedness. To that mind alone, any of the bhakti sadhanas, the yoga sadhanas, especially the Vedanta Jnanam, Vedanta sadhana, all the intricacies of the Vedanta, they start becoming revealed. Such person alone, truly, completely deciding himself to be the seeker of the self, the truth, then dedicating only for this sadhana, he'll be able to reach out. So, having heard all this, we have to again look into ourselves. What is our present position? And from that present position of whatever we are, with all these steps understood, one by one step, we have to conquer. Spiritual sadhana seeks 100% total attention for its effective doing and fruitful doing. There cannot be half-hearted sadhana. There cannot be part-time sadhana. There all the time we have to be in that to such an extent that anything other than spirituality done will devalue or reduce this earlier spiritual sadhana done, and also adds to the contrary things. With so much of sensitivity and carefulness, one has to 100% dedicate only for sadhana spiritual. That stage of mind we have to reach. And for us to reach to all that stages as said now, what is required is continuous pumping and input about the truth and reality, about the ephemerality of the world. And that is what is done by the Shastras, that is what is done by the Guru, that is what is the purpose of the Satsangas. So through the Satsanga, we are not going to realize Paramatma very soon just like that. But through this continuous exposure to the Shastras, we are molding our mind to that required level of total detachment from the binding world and total commitment for spiritual sadhana. And surely it is happening, but when we consciously, knowingly we do, then we can make it happen little faster. That Purushartha Samarthya is there in us to maximum level, also to minimum level. We have to start using it from the minimum level. What I can do, what should be done? Can I do this? Will I be able to do this? Let me try it. In this way, giving the suggestions to ourselves, taking up one by one sadhana, we have to slowly use our Purushartha Samarthya along with the Ishvara and Guru Krupa that is poured on us through the Satsangas. In such person, the subtleties, the understandings start happening. Accordingly, the transformation from the worldliness to spirituality can be conspicuously seen. Along with that, when the upasanas to the Guru and the Lord are continuous and constant, then their grace has a special impact of making this sadhaka more dedicated, not only more dedicated to sadhana, but all in all important thing is everything starts becoming crystal clearly understood by him, what he has to reach, for that what he has to do, for that what is the qualification required, for that what is he the position now in, then from this position to the required qualification level, what is to be done to reach to that, every of these aspect becomes clear, crystal clear for that person who along with these efforts, putting the extra efforts of the upasana of Guru and Daivam. That's why yesterday in our Shvetashvatara Upanishad chanting in the sixth chapter, the last mantra. In fact, last three, four mantras are so beautiful there. But in the last mantra said, Yasya deve para bhaktihi yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite kathitahi arthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Yasya, that person, the sadhaka, to whom Deve Para Bhakti has got the unconditional supreme devotion to the Paramatma. Para Bhakti hona chahiye. Unconditional, complete Para Bhakti. Here Para Bhakti is equal to Sharanagati. So to Yatha Deve Tatha Gurau, as much Sharanagati Yukta Para Bhakti has got for Devata, the Ishta Devata, so much if he has got the Bhakti also for the Gurau. Tasya Mahatmanaha, he is already become Mahatma. And to such Mahatma alone, Ete Kathitaha Hi Arthaha Prakashante. These Upanishad mantras will reveal the subtle meanings that are contained in their womb, not to others. So, with this mantra, the Upanishad concluded means how important it is. Now, coincidentally, the continuation of that we chanted today, the Kaliyantarana Upanishad, wherein Naraji goes to Brahmadeva and says, when I have to move on the earth, Bhumandala, which is in Kali Yuga now, I should not get affected by the Kali. What to do, O Lord, tell me. Then he says, same Parabrahma Paramatma, he alone is Narayana. His Nama Smarana is the one which protects you from entering into the Kali or affected by the Kali. Then the mantra Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. This Shodasha Pada mantra Brahmadeva gave to Naradaji. There, while Brahmadeva gave it to us, The word name address used for Brahmadeva vocative is Hiranyagarbha. The same Hiranyagarbha is teaching again us the Patanjala Yoga Darshanam also. So that Narad ji ko bataya. Then he said, कि with this alone you can get rid of influence of Kali. Then he says, through the so much of chanting of this mantra only of the jiva, whatever the layers of ignorance are there, whatever the layers of bondage are there, avidya, kama, karma, ityadi, all hridaya granthi, chedanam, bhedanam will happen, he said. So, both yesterday and today, from that what we learned, what is said in Shweta Sutra, the last sloka, key, let us also be more true serious in invoking the grace of our Guru Parampara and Paramatma in various forms in which we worship him as our Ishtadevata. And this is done along with our regular exposure to Shastra Shravanam, followed by little of our effort also to contemplate. All this can be done only when we bring our chitta or mana to a pure level of ekagrata or sattva guna. And that for that, how to eliminate the rajas tamas, which alone takes lots and lots of time or lives, we have to work on that. As said in Yoga Darshanam, here also, without coming to the Suddha Sattva Guna level, living at Rajas and Tamas level, little bit, because of little Sattva, we may come to class and attend things, but the vagueness will never go away. See, vagueness will go away and clear understanding comes, only Tamas is eliminated. But yet, sticking to the sadhana will never happen unless the extrovertedness causing Rajaguna is eliminated. Time is your choice. You want to do it in this very life, then put your 10 years of time to totally eliminate Rajas Tamas along with its causes, their causes, and fully come into Sattva Guna. Then after the 10 years of your effort in achieving this, you will definitely able to fully focus on the Upanishad Jnanam, and its understanding will be unambiguous. We can enter into deep contemplation meditation. If 10 years you are not sufficient for you, or you are not doing it, and we say we need 10 lives, 10,000 lives, then it is said continue with 10,000 lives. With Rajas and Tamas, you may do little punya, you get some Swarga Adi, and here also in this world you'll have little of comforts, etc. Once in a while you can listen to the satsanga, but because of predominance of Rajas Tamas, it is just kicked away from your heart. So like that you live. And mind you, like that only we were living pata nahi from how many lives. Now in this life you have to recognize it. Recognize every aspect. As long as the antakarana is in rajas and tamas and not in sattva, not only we are not able to comprehend the truth, but we are helpless victims to be extroverted. Extroverted with rajas, tired and enter into sleep with tamas. Wake up again extroverted with rajas, again tired, enter into sleep tamas. This is the only order of life, disorder of life. Even at that level, our spiritual sadhanas also are vague and full of effort, struggle, strains. Even they also give tiredness, and we are tired of satsang, we are tired of japam, we are tired of puja. If we are tired of sadhanas, means what, we are struggling there. The struggle is the sign of Rajoguna. Rajoguna is because of the anxiety, the excitements, the conflict personalities in us. One side, we want to do some spiritual sadhana and progress. The other side, we can't give up even one desire or thing of the world. In that conflicting, contradicting stage, with some willpower, even some sadhana is done. It is full of all suppressions, repressions, and pressures, and forces and efforts, leads even to get exhausted of that, tired of that. You know, such people, when they finish their japa, upasana, puja, and come out, they are like Bhayankar Rakshas only to pounce upon anybody, whoever is the first victim. Is it not? So, slowly with maturity, by understanding about the illusory nature of the world, and by understanding that in the delusion of the mind, non understanding of the illusory nature of the mind, we are unnecessarily giving the value to the world of things and beings, and that's creating desire in us, and thus we are agitated to fulfill that desire, to do this or that. In the world being in Maya, it never listens to us, it never comes to our grip or catch. Therefore, continuously the world is slipping away because of its nature, and continuously we are wanting to hold it, which is not happening. Therefore, always extroverted, agitated, endlessly, and tired of it, going into tamas, only to get up again to continue because the force of the vasanas of Rajoguna. This we have to recognize and then slowly make our whole life schedule totally different. In that, again, two stages are: first, let me live my life only at my antakarana level, not value any things and beings of the world outside. This requires few lives of practice. Then, beyond the antakarana is the self. Then only we can do all the inner sadhanas of meditation, contemplations to go even beyond the inner antakarana. Even at the antakarana level, when we live, our thoughts should be only of the sublime, divine, spiritual, whether of the Jnana Marga or the Bhakti Marga. Only that we have to maintain for long period of time till even the traces of and Rajas Tamas completely are eliminated, sent away. They are all enemies. If you give enemy little chance, he will occupy everything and defeats us. So, in this way, today's our introduction is about all these things. Key upasana required, understanding that what is the level of our chitta is required, and then living at the level of chitta, then only going inside. Before that, if that is not done, we will just vaguely hear class little, but it will have no effect at all in our inner transformation. So maybe all that way, with our own conscious effort of adding little Purushartha, with the along with the grace received from Bhagavan Shruti Mata in the form of satsang, and becoming more mindful about where do we stand today, where do we have to reach, we have to that way consciously help in our own evolution. It cannot be half-hearted, it cannot be vague, it cannot be I don't know type of thing. I have to know only. Shastras are slowly equipping us towards that. And in this very life, as we are with full of prarabdhams, therefore we may not be fully able to see the result of what we are doing. But what we are doing, if it is true, genuine, 100% true, and its result will be consequently, subsequently seen. As was saying again and again, all our study of Shastras are only to prepare us for the next life. Right from the word go, we are only into that. And for that, whatever the detachment, dispassion required for the world, that also we have to gain in this life only. Let us not die with all attachments. Again, we will be born like that only. So too, equally is with all the necessary arhata or qualification, along with these impressions of the knowledge gained. If we can gather all of them, then it all will help us in straight away into the sadhana. If this is not done in this life, never ever it is denied that in this life the mukti will not come. Who knows if the intensity of sadhana is so much, upasana is so great, maybe in next 14, 12 years, each of us may be fulfilling all our sadhanas by the grace of Guru Ishvara. We may even contemplate, visualize our own Atmanubhuti. All sambhavanas we can accept. But yet, the power of Maya, power of mind, power of Prarabdha, power of the Kaliyuga, उसको भी हम कभी नहीं नजरअंदाज नहीं करना. So there's nowhere any vagueness, there's nowhere any incompleteness, there's nowhere anywhere no non-clarity. Everything is clear. Then with this clarity, be on the path. So now we are studying the Upanishads with Bhashyam, slowly allowing into us the possibility of this information and this sadhana. When we do again all Upanishads, just 3 or 4 rounds, with the same Shraddha intensity as we are doing, then the Vishyas will become pakka. All the ideas, understandings will be very pakka for us. And that is required. As I am saying you, we are studying together. It is our first effort of these Upanishads Adhyayana. We are struggling to understand the word meaning only. Then only the deeper indicated inner meanings After that only true contemplations, meditation start. So the Lord and Guru Parampara, which brought us up to this level, because of devotion to them, when we continue devotion, definitely they will take us to the next level also. With that faith, with our commitment, with our added enthusiasm, with our added little more efforts, thus let us ensure that we are on the path. And meanwhile, never allow anything to distract us away from this path. And as we are talking every day as a routine thing, whether we like it or not, the first and foremost thing which keeps us always in touch with our goal is our relentless, regular, unbroken satsang. That also on Upanishads. Whether we are able to understand it or not at this stage, but our consistency makes us qualified. If not today, tomorrow, that time we'll be able to understand. If we don't even attempt also, then we are not even attempting. Then how will we understand? कोशिश करो तो फेलियर होता है, फिर क्यों फेल हुआ, कैसे सक्सेस होना है, वो समझने को चांस होता. Then that failure causes replaced by success causes, we become succeeded. If you don't even attempt only, अब उपनिषद ही नहीं आ रहे हैं सुनने को, then how will we know there is Brahma Tattva, this is how the Brahma Lakshanas, this is how the Adhikara Prapti through the Upasana, this is how we have to do, where will we listen? In all other texts other than the Upanishads, what is spoken about is Upasanas, Karma Kanda, which give only the temporary endful results. They are all bondage only. Every jnanam other than Tattva Brahma Jnanam directly spoken from the Upanishads is only Ajnanam only, because it continues to bind us as Jiva, continues to bind us to the eternally changing world. संसारी ही हम रह जाएंगे. ये भी बात बहुत गंभीर है. You understand or not, hold on to Upanishad Vidya. That's it. Bharata Varsha means first Upanishad Adhyanam, then the Brahma Tattva Avgahanam, then in search of Brahmanubhuti, everybody is doing sadhana. As a part of it, outside they fulfill their dharma, which will make their life and the world also go smoothly outside. And inside, there are no regrets and guilts of not doing what is to be done. But the main goal is, after studying Upanishad, only Brahma Vidya. This is called an Indian. Indian by definition, by tradition is this. But big Rajas were there, all big people were there. That also, they were conducting those things outside as their dharma, but inside heart, all of them are spiritual seekers. Therefore, when the time of maturity used to come, they just used to give up the kingdom to the children. They are on the path. We are not seeing every day. In the Bhagavad Puranam, in the Namaha Skanda, we are seeing only these stories. We have seen the Yayati Raja Charitra, then the that Venaka Vishwamitra, that the उनके है ना वो उसका भरत जी का चरित्र, all of them we are seeing. In that, what do we say at the end of it? They give the kingdom to earlier generation and then they go on meditation. That means what? How much are vigorously acting outside? They are inside. The Jnana Jyoti, the Tattva Jyoti, the Brahma Jyoti, given to them by those gurus, was always lit and protected. Outside, because the totality of the universe or the Lord will have to get that work done from that person. Therefore, he is made as king or samrat or chakravarti. वो करते रहेंगे वो. He may be appearing to be to us to be very dynamic acting outside, and it is true too. But it is not disturbing his inner search for the truth. That's how we have to understand those people. The examples of the kings which we are seeing nowadays. Okay, in our Navama Skandham, just 3-4 more days. Now, having done all that, now with that prepared mind, feel that we are into the study of Taittiriya Upanishad. In that also the second, the Brahmananda Valli. Here, every word is sacred of the Mula Upanishad mantra. Every word of Bhashyakara also equally sacred, to go as deeply in detail as possible to understand what he is conveying, so that it becomes clear to us. So the first is Sutra Bhuta Vakyam. Brahma Vidapnoti Param. Feel the meaning of it. The knower of Brahman obtains ultimate. Then in the second mantra, an addition is added to this first Sutra Bhuta mantra, in which that Brahma Lakshanas are told. So what is that? तदेशाभ्युक्ता satyam jnanam anantam brahma. So you can reverse from back side and come into the front, first line. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Point 1. Point 2. Tad brahmavit. The knower of that brahma, apnoti param, will achieve the supreme. Like in yoga also, yoga chitta vritti nirodha tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Else vritti sarupyam itaratra. Here also, Satyam Jnanam Anantam is Brahma, Tad Brahmavid Apnoti Param Supreme. And what is the Param Supreme? What is the Brahma? What is Apnoti? All of these so detailedly, deeply, thoroughly is investigated and being explained to us by Bhagavan Shankara. That's what we were seeing. So yesterday, having seen all that, last 2 3 days, now we have come to the topic of the explanation of this second line. What is that? Esha Rucha Aviyukta? The Rigveda mantra has come. To tell us the next sentence, Rigveda mantra is taken up. In that, what is achieved is said in the earlier avatarika by Shankara, that first of all, the Lakshanas of the Brahma, which is the Vedya Vastu, knowing which Paramapnoti, the Lakshanas have to be told. And those Lakshanas have to be exclusive only to the Brahman, nowhere else, and no other things Lakshanas should be intermingled with these Lakshanas of the Brahman. That was ensured in our discussion. Second is what? This Lakshana Yukta Brahma has to be discovered as Pratyagatma Bhavena Ananya Rupena. He is my own inner self and he is not other than myself. This is the second point we have to achieve while studying the subsequent portions of this Upanishad, where Brahma Vidya in elaboration is taught, theoretical as well as practical. Practical means how to reach to the Brahma Tattva by transcending the Panchakosha Itya. Third one is what? The promise or the pratigna done by Shruti Mata is Brahmavid Apnoti Param. Apnoti Param means what? There should not be even a trace of again samsara. Therefore, what is caused by samsara is its own dharmas of ajnana, moha, ityadi. Therefore, sarva samsara dharma vivarjita brahma prapti eva paraprapti. That is what the last line. Is it not? Ki sarva samsara dharma atita brahma swarupam eva na anyata. So we discover ourselves to be that Swarupa Brahma in which all the dharma of the samsara are transcended. Then only we can call as Paraprapta. We have reached the ultimate. So these three things are ensured to be taught by the Shruti Mata and Bhagavan Shankara. We also have to literally catch them, understand them. Then practically on the seat of meditation also, we try to do it and we really reach out. That's how the introductory Bhashyam, which is so essential. Just like the earlier also, the definition of the prapti, aprapti, it was also so essential. Then the meaning of Brahman also, Brudhatmamatvad, Brahmanatvad, Vruddhatamatvad. Every of the things which we discussed so far are so crucial to be carried always in the content or container of our own chitta or mana, so that the data is available for us to do outer sadhana as well as sadhana when we sit for dhyana. Now the sentence is explained. Tadeshabhyukta, tat means tasmin eva brahmana vakyokta arthe. In that satyam jnanam anantam brahma, in continuation of that only, tat means that is the meaning. In that brahmana vakya ukta arthe, brahmana vakya means Brahma means Veda, Brahma is Brahmana. So in that Veda Upanishad vakya में ही ये आगे प्रसंग चल रहा है. To tell that the word tat is used. Tat, therefore, tat means in that context. Tat means to continue that. Tat means to explain that. Tat means to elaborate that. Tat means to complete that. That is the meaning of that. Tat, in that context, in that relation, in continuation of that, to elaborate it, to complete it. What happens? What is done? Tat esha rucha aviyukta. That sentence is explained further, substantiated by this Rigveda mantra. And before that, the Prathama line, Brahma Vida Apnoti Parame, Sutra Bhuta Vakya. To that, again, the second sutra also is added, which is also Sutra Rupa, which is also equally important. So it is in the Rigveda, and Rucha mantra is added to first mantra. And what is that? We have chanted it. Chant 3 times. Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. Bas. Then Yoveda Nuhitam Vahaya Paramebhyaman. All it is Upanabdhisthana of that Brahma. First, let us understand this thoroughly. Then, first thing is what? Ki एषा रुक् अभ्युक्ता आम्नाता सत्यम ज्ञानम अनंतम ब्रह्म इति. So this Rusha Rug mantra Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is explained to continue what is said in the first line, which is Sutra Vakya. Now, what is this Satyam Jnanam Anantam? Straight away, right from the beginning. कुछ words आपने use किया. What are they? As if we are asking question. Bhagavan Shankara replies, Brahmana Lakshanartham Vakyam. Be clear. These are the Vakyas. This is the Vakyam to tell us about the Lakshana of the Brahman. Be careful. This is the Brahma ka Lakshana hai. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. They are talking about the Lakshana of the Brahma. Lakshana of the Brahma. Qualities of the Brahma. First point. So these three are the Brahmana Lakshanas. Second one. Satyadinihi trini visheshanarthani padani visheshasya brahmanaha. And next addition is what? In the development of the contemplative process, become careful. Teen lakshan bata diya. But he is coming to a lower level now. What is a lower level? Here he is bringing the Brahma Tattva to a level of Visheshya and calling these three Lakshanas as Visheshana deliberately. So, in our English simple language, the Visheshanas are the adjectives. Visheshana is that to which the adjectives belong. So, Visheshya Brahma, Visheshanas are these three Lakshanas, these three Visheshanas. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are the Visheshana, Brahma is Visheshya. So, Visheshana, Visheshya Sambandha. So, Brahmana Lakshanartham Vakyam, पहले तो highest बता दिया. Then to pull us from where we are to higher level, a little lower level of sentence is said, it is Visheshanas and the Brahman is Vishesha. So, Satyadinihi Trini, he means verily, Trini means these three, Satya Adi Ini means Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, these three are Visheshana Arthani Padani. They are the words used to indicate or give the Visheshana, the adjectives of the Brahman, which is qualified. So, Visheshya is qualified Brahman. Then these three are the qualifications. Or these are called adjectives, and that is the object to whom the adjectives belong. This is what second thing we have to understand as per Bhashyam. Then as we analyze what is said deeply, we try to catch it. So what are these three words? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. What are they? They are all Brahmana Lakshanarthani Vakyani or Padani. But is it, how do you explain that? Where do you start? They are all the Visheshanani of the Vishesha Brahma. So Satyadini Trini Visheshana Arthani Padani Visheshyasya Brahmanaha. The Brahmana is Visheshya, qualified. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, these three words are the Visheshana, the qualifications. So the Lakshita, the Lakshanas, the adjectives and the object to which the adjectives belong. Now, Visheshya Brahma Vivakshitatvat. Visheshyam Brahma. Now, why we are talking about Brahman here? Because why Brahman is Visheshya here, of which you are telling the Visheshanas and lifting our attention that it is not Visheshanas but it is a Lakshana, because Vivakshitatvat. In the context of the second Valli, the Vaktum Icha Vivaksha is for what? For what the Shruti Mata, the Guru, took initiative to talk, not Upasanas. It is over in the Pratama Valli. Therefore, Vivakshita means Vaktum Icha. And why the Rishi or Shruti Mata want to tell about the Brahman, of whose the Visheshanas are told, by telling that it is a Visheshya? Because Vedyataya, that is to be known. That's why. Brahman is to be known. That is why Brahman is the subject matter is spoken here. That subject matter Brahman is the Vishesha here, of which the Satyam Jnanam Anantam three padas are the Visheshanas. But why do you want to tell us Brahman? Why should we know the Brahman? Why has it become a Vedyataya? What is a Vedya? Why is it the Vedya Vastu, to be known Vastu, worthy of knowing Vastu? Because the first Mula Vakyam, Sutra Vakyam, only Brahmavid apnoti param. So, in this Dvitiya Valli, when this Prathama and Dvitiya mantras are told in the first Anuvaka, Bhagavan Shankara is bringing to our notice what is the context of these things arrival are put there. After the understanding of the importance of the context of studying them, then they will be detailedly explained, each of these padas. So, Satyadini Trini Padartha Visheshanarthani Visheshanarthani Padani Visheshasya Brahmanaha Vishesham Brahma. Now, why Brahman has to be said Visheshyam? Why not the other three? Because all four are in Samanadikaranya. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, or in same line, same sequence, same case. So we can say the Visheshana is Satyam, the other three can be the Visheshanas, or Visheshya can be Jnanam, other three can be Visheshana, or Visheshya can be Anantam, other three can be Visheshana. Why only Brahman is Visheshyam, other three are Visheshana? Because the context is a Brahman. Because why the context is Brahman? Because in the first line, Satyavidapnoti param, Jnanavidapnoti param, Anantavidapnoti param, it is not said like that. What is said is Brahmavidapnoti param. Therefore, Brahmavid become param. Therefore, subject matter of discussion should be Brahman. Therefore, Brahman alone should be Visheshya. Therefore, other three words said here have to be its Visheshana. Therefore, don't have any doubt. It's an important contemplation here, wherein the Visheshanas are these three, the Vishesha is Brahman, don't take it the other way around. Though all of them are in same case. Only to specifically say us that through the contemplation on these three Visheshanas, we are reaching to the Vishesha Brahma. Brahman is our goal, never forget it, because only the Brahma Prapti will give us the Paraprapti. Sarva samsara dharma virjita Brahma Prapti alone will free us from this, all the, is called as Paraprapti, and that alone frees us from bondage. So, Tini Pradani Visheshanani Visheshyasya Brahmanaha, and Visheshyam is Brahma because Vivakshitatvat, because Vedyataya or Vedyataya. Clear? See, for understanding it, Vedyataya means Brahman is to be known, because knower of Brahman only becomes or attains the Param. Because the Brahman has become Vedya Vastu or the object to be known, therefore about Brahman only it should be told. That is why it's called as Vivakshataya, Vivakshitattvatu, Vaktumicha Vivaksha. And because the Vivaksha is about the Brahman, Brahman becomes Visheshya. And obviously, when it is Visheshya, the other three have to be its Visheshanas. You know, a person is there, his qualities are there. So, to explain the person, we use the qualities. There, the person is important, and the qualities are to explain him. So, always the Vishesha is person only. The Visheshanas are the adjectives. We don't talk to about the person to explain the qualities. So, here also, that thing to be explained is Brahman, the Vishesha, and the explanations are the adjectives, the Visheshanas. They are Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So, in short, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are the Visheshanas of the Vishesha Vastu Brahma. Keep it in mind. Don't say that Satyam is Visheshayam and other three are Visheshanam, etc., because they're all in one case only. Okay. Then now, explanation of this as we have said just now, Visheshana Visheshatvat Eva. Visheshana Visheshatvat Eva Satya Adini Eka Vibhakti Antani Padani Samanadikaranani. They are all Samanadikaranam, they are all same case, Eka Vibhakti Antani, they are in the same Vibhakti also one for them, and there the Vishesha Visheshana purpose के लिए ही वहाँ बताए गए. So why this sentence came? To explain about the Vishesha Visheshana. And you have to be very clear about which is Visheshana and which is Visheshya. And the clarity is what? The Vishesha Vastu is Brahman only. Obviously, the other become Visheshana. Why the Brahman has to Vishesha? Because that is a subject taken for discussion. Why that is taken for discussion? Because that is to be known. And why it is to be known? Because when it is known, then only the Paraprapti happens. So, and in another context, in a layman's language, क्या है कि जिस व्यक्ति या वस्तु को जानना चाहते हो तो फिर उसके लक्षण तो जानना चाहिए, इसने उसके विशेषण तो जानना चाहिए ना. There are 100 things and you want to know one of them, not all the 100. Don't you need to know the visheshanas of that person or any that thing? Like there are then 20 trees are there. Then नीम के पत्ते लाओ या आम का पत्ता लाओ बताए मानो. No, the आम के पत्ते का जो साइज है and its taste or smell or looks, it's all its visheshanas. Unless the Visheshnas are told, specifically the Visheshya Am ka patta you can't bring. There will be chaos. So too, ब्रह्म को वेद्य वस्तु के रूप में बताया एंड ब्रह्म का वेदन होने से पर प्राप्ति मिलेगा. यू टोल्ड अग्रीड, बट व्हाट इज ब्रह्म? बोलो उसका विशेषण क्या है. सो दिस इज विशेषण ब्रह्म के जो विशेष है बताने के लिए आया हुआ सेंटेंस है. ये सारे पद समानाधिकरण में है. फिर भी विशेष is only Brahma, not the other three. Therefore, they become its or Brahma Tattvas, their Visheshanas. Up to this, he has come. Now, Satyadibhi cha trivihi Visheshanaihi Visheshyamanam Brahma Visheshya Antarebhya Nirdaryat. That's what we said now. There are so many Visheshya Vastus. Each one have their own Visheshanas. Therefore, for differentiating this Visheshya, the object, from the other Visheshya, other object, the Visheshanas have to be told. Then ये उससे अलग किया जा सकता है. Is it not? The adjectives are told only to differentiate it from the other objects. So this object, that object, for it to be differentiated from other, for the purpose of getting it or obtaining it, इसके लक्षण बताए जाते हैं. Therefore, Satyadini three are the lakshanas told for obtaining exclusively the Brahman, not anything else. बाकी विशेषों से हटाकर केवल ब्रह्म तत्व को ही ग्रहण करने के लिए इस ब्रह्म तत्व जो विशेष है इसके विशेषण रूपी सत्य ज्ञान अनंत पद शब्द बताए जा रहे हैं. That is the meaning. See, सत्यादिभिः छत्रिभिः विशेषणैः विशेष्यमाणं ब्रह्म विशेष्यांतरेभ्यः निर्धार्यते. So in this world, million things are there. All of them are called Visheshya. Everything has its own Visheshana. But we don't want any one of them. We want only Brahman. Therefore, to differentiate Brahman from all of them, the differentiating Visheshanas have to be told, and they are these three. Now, these are all repeating of the thing for making it deeply enter inside. Specifically, that we have to reach Brahman, there is another option, and we have to reach to the Brahman only through these three Lakshanas. Therefore, these three Lakshana and Visheshana Yukta Vastu alone is Brahman, nothing other than it. To become specified in this, the insistence or the stress is given in this Bhashya. Otherwise, क्या है ना, ये विशेषणों को छोड़ दी, दूसरे विशेषणों को नहीं देगा हमको. We are here to get the param. Goal is paraprapti. The paraprapti is attained by the Brahma prapti only. And Brahman is mixed with so many things. Everything has his own Visheshanas. Therefore, to separate Brahman from them, to be told, and they are these three gunas. And actually, in this only meditation is over. Only if we know the meaning of these three words. So the Brahman which has got these three words and its meaning alone is Brahman, which you have to obtain. Anything other than any vastu which has other qualities other than these three lakshanas of Brahman are not Brahman, therefore you have to reject them. In contemplation, यही होता है. After the subject is thoroughly understood, the rejection is done of all those things which are not fit in these lakshanas, and we slowly try to see to that which has fulfilling these lakshanas. In that effort, we reach to our own self that I am that. It all will happen as we slowly develop the subject. So we have come up to this level now. कि सत्यादीनि त्रीणि लक्षणानि विशेष्यस्य ब्रह्मणः अन्यतर विशेष्येण what is it निर्धारणार्थं विशेषणैः विशेष्यमाणं ब्रह्म विशेष्य अंतरेभ्यः निर्धार्यते means separated. Vishesha antarebhya means from other objects. So the Brahman is separate from other things only when the specific Visheshanas of Brahman are told, and they are these three. So this is how he is introducing into us. Not only the Brahmas, the Lakshanas are told, also are told what we said in the Upadghatam, that these Lakshanas belong only to the Brahman, not to anything else. So, and any other Lakshana other than three doesn't belong to Brahman. Therefore, search of Brahman with these three Lakshanas. And the beauty of it is what, as we are going to study and contemplate, when you search for these lakshanas of when we search for an object which qualifies this lakshana, we reach to Brahman. When we reach to the Brahman and look back, even these lakshanas also won't be there. Because Brahman is beyond every description. Slowly, we will come to know that. Again, if somebody asks and you need to explain or describe, this way only you will explain again. अनुभव का लक्षण नहीं होते हैं, बट अनुभव को बताने के लिए, बोलने के लिए कोई शब्द चाहिए, और ये शब्द अल्टीमेट है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस इज व्हाट कि एवं ही तद ज्ञातम भवति यदि अन्येभ्यः निर्धारितम. एवं ही मीन्स इन दिस वे अलोन, तत् मीन्स ब्रह्मा ज्ञातम भवति विल बी नोन, अन्येभ्यः निर्धारितम व्हेन इट इज सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम अदर थिंग्स. नाउ हाउ इंपॉर्टेंट इज दिस टॉपिक? यू सी, where is Brahman? Everywhere. If Brahman is everywhere, why is not being caught? Because he is lost in the mixture with the other things. Then how to separate him? Only when the specific lakshanas have been told, with those lakshanas we can pull the Brahman out of it. This is what exactly the fourth sutra of our Patanjali Yoga Darshanam also. What is that? If we are not into the Kaivalya Sthiti through Asampragnata Yoga, when you are in the Uttana Sthiti of the Chitta, then along with the Chitta's identification, the Chitti Shakti, the consciousness, appears as if it is lost or non-recognized. Today we are going to study that also. So, Yoga Darshanam, Brahmatattva Vidya, they are going together. One is directly focusing on Brahma Tattva, other is giving us the means as to how the Chitta Vritti Nirodha helps us in discovering the Sarupa Avastha. What is it is Sarupa Avastha here in Yoga is said as Brahma Tattva here. And what is said as Chitta Vritti Nirodha here is said to be exclusively reaching to that self which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And as Satyam Jnanam Anantam said here Lakshanas, there Chitti Shakti, Aparinamani, Aprasankheya, Darshita Vishaya, then Shuddha, Ananta, what are said there, said are here. Difference between Yoga and Vedanta is, in Yoga, Drushti is on the Vrittis and elimination of them, then the existing self is revealed. In Vedanta, self is focused upon. In the intensity of focus on the self, obviously the abstractions of called Vrittis which are not valued, they themselves go away and Brahma is revealed. दोनों का पर्पस एक ही, but purpose एक ही है, दृष्टि of effort is little different. That's it. Now coming here, a specific sentence here he says, this is the only way by which Brahman is obtained when it is separated and differentiated from all other things with its own specific lakshanas or visheshanas. Like in any case, I said, 10 people are there, so you have to call one fellow. Then, oh, bole to sab haan bolte hain. Then you say blue shirt wala, or the black topi wala, or yellow pant wala. It's something you say, na? Then only you are separating him from others and calling him for your whatever purpose. Here also, Visheshanantarebhyaha Visheshyasya Nirdharana eva Visheshya Praptehe Karanam. Means what? Visheshya Vastu can be obtained from other Visheshya Vastus only with its own specific Visheshanas understanding. There is no other way. That's what it is. Evam hi tad jnatam bhavati. In this both are there. In this way alone, that Brahma can be known, and this way definitely Brahman can be known. Dono baate hote. There is no other way also, and if you follow this way, definitely also. That the Brahma is obtained when Anyabhya Nirdharitam. What is Anyabhya Nirdharitam? Separate from other things. How it is separate from other things? By its own exclusive, specific qualifications, specific lakshanas. And what are they? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. So, example is Yatha Loke Neelamo Mahat Sugandhi Utpalam iti. So, we have given example yesterday, like in the world also, see, the lotuses are there plenty. You want a particular lotus which you have seen. That many other lotuses are also there. Then you tell your disciple, here lotus lay out. So, he asks which one, or you only say, अरे रुक बोलने तो दो पूरा कौन सा चाहिए नीलम. Then he's going away. Are Neelam ka matlab so many are there Neelams. When the moment Neelam word is used, all other colors other than the blue are rejected. Only Neelam for lotus ke upar drushti ho jayega. As he was moving that, he gives more specific lakshana. Are Mahat, don't bring the smaller one. Bigger one you bring. And as he's running towards that, Ruka, not only Mahat, it should be Sugandhi. Therefore, what are these Neelam, Mahat, Sugandhi? They are the lakshanas of the Laksha Vastu. They are the Visheshanas of Vishesha Vastu. What is that? Lotus. So, what these three things are doing? Neelam, Mahat, Sugandhi, they are helping in catching this lotus to the exclusion of other lotuses. दूसरे विशेषों से निर्धारित करके वो चाहिए जो चाहिए लोटस उसी को ले आने के लिए ये विशेषण वहाँ काम को आए. So he is looking at that. He wants it. But he wants the disciple to go and bring. But unless the lakshanas are properly told, there will be a mixture of it. And instead of what you expect, something else he brings. That's why to servant also when we send, we will tell them an object to bring. And again specifically we say, like, array mirchi lao. No, mirchi is, so many mirchis are there. You will specifically say, if you don't say, he will bring something. Your idea of mirchi lao means kale mirchi lao. Arre kale mirchi alag hai. If you don't tell kala mirchi, you will bring all other mirchi, not kala. Then you have to say kala mirchi. Or the other mirchi lao. कौन सा फिर उसमें भी है लाल मिर्च है शिमला मिर्च है हरा मिर्च है पकोड़े वाला मिर्ची है फिर तीखा वाला मिर्ची है. So these are all lakshanas of the vastu. That particular thing which you want, you tell. For this purpose, this is mirchi, so this lakshana wala ohi leya. In the same way, our goal is to reach Param. Param is reached through Brahma Vidya. And to know the Brahman, we have to know its specific lakshanas. Only then that alone is caught to the exclusion of other things. If the lakshanas specific are not told, and through that specific lakshanas, if it is not searched, instead of that, something else we get it, and not this one, then paraprapti will not happen. Therefore, as much is our goal to have the paraprapti important, so much important is to know that Param is Brahman and the Brahman's Visheshnas or Lakshanas are Satyam Jnanam Anantam. This should be fixed in our thought. Then only anything other than Satyam Jnanam Anantam, which is not Brahman, we reject. And what is Satyam, what is Jnanam, what is Anantam? It has not yet come. We will discuss it. यहाँ तक इतना. सो विशेषणों की जरूरत है विशेष वस्तु को दूसरे विशेष वस्तुओं से अलग करके पाने के लिए. हो गया. नाउ द Nanuk came and asked a question. We saw it yesterday also. What is Nanu's question is very beautiful. The simple meaning is what? Ki when there are so many vastus of same jati with different gunas or the vilakshanas or visheshanas, then you will tell those visheshanas to get that vastu from the other vastus. So, same example of the lotuses. There are so many lotuses of the blue color, yellow color, green color, red color. वस्तुएं ज्यादा है, जाति एक है. Whether all are the lotuses? Jati is lotus, but the variety is there of the lotuses, and you want a particular one. Therefore, the visheshana was required. But if the vastu is only one, be attentive, not many. Vastu is only one, not many. Then bring that vastu, it can be told. What is the need of visheshana? Like he gave the example of Suryavatu. That's what is it not? Ki ekaha aditya iti. So we just say, look at the sun, that's it. We did not say, don't see the black sun, don't see that blue sun, don't see that yellow sun. You just look at only the white sun. डू वी स्पेसिफाई द सन व्हेन वी टेल हिम जो गरम गरम होते हैं, जो सफ़ेद सफ़ेद होते हैं, वो वाला सूर्य को देखना, जो ठंडा ठंडा होता है, जो नीले काले होते हैं, उनको नहीं. यू विल नेवर इवन यूज द विशेषणास. बाय द वर्ड सेइंग दैट लुक एट सन, इट इज अंडरस्टूड बिकॉज सन इज वन, देयर इज नो अदर सन्स of sajatiya, and having each one of them different visheshana, that we have to be told that look at this sun with those visheshanas. See that example's beauty. Look at sun is only one, nobody questions also, because बहुत सारे सूर्य नहीं है और है बहुत सारे, then each one will be visheshya, they will have its own visheshanas, and then which sun you want to see, those visheshanas are told. Like when you go to zoological park, anywhere, birds is a common noun, but you have to specifically say which bird. There are 20 varieties are there. Then depending on its place or its color or its size or its sound, these are all the visheshanas we tell, then we visualize it. So the Purva Pakshi's prashna is what? Ki nanu visheshyam visheshanantaram vyavicharat visheshyate. The specificity or the need of the visheshanas are to separate the visheshya from the other visheshanas. Okay? Yatha neelam raktam cha utpalam iti. There are utpalams. Both are basically utpalam. But one is neelam, another is raktam. So that you have to tell the neelam only is to separate the required utpalam from the other utpalam, which is raktam. Raktam is red. So the neelam word needed to be used because there is another lotus but different adjective. है कि नहीं? नीलम वर्ड इज यूज्ड. ब्रिंग द नीलम इज ऊपर का एग्जाम्पल, यथा नीलम महत सुगंधि उत्पलम. सो नीलम इज द विशेषणम. इट वाज यूज्ड बिकॉज देयर वाज अदर रक्त उत्पलम आल्सो. So why the visheshanam has to be used? For separating the visheshya from the other visheshas which have different visheshana. Now yadahi is explaining the home sentence. Anekani dravyani. Objects are many. Be clear. Objects are ek jati yani. They belong to one jati. That's why we took the example of one lotuses. All are lotus. So many lotuses, but all are lotuses. But the thing is what? Ki aneka visheshana yogini. They have specific visheshanas. Like that, a pond is there. There are objects are there. They are lotuses only, but have lot of visheshana. No, blue, red, green, etc., etc. In that case only, tada visheshanasya arthavatvam. There is a meaning for the visheshana of this or that color to be told, because so many sajatiya with different qualities are there. But nahi ekasmin eva vastuni. When the object is one without second, visheshana antara ayogat. When only object one is there, why do you use the visheshana to talk about it? दो वस्तु है, दोनों के अलग विशेषण है, तो इसको उससे अलग करने के लिए इसका विशेषण बोलना पड़ता है. लाइक आई टोल्ड यू 10 चिल्ड्रन आर देयर, कॉल देम. सो वी टेल देम येलो पेन. एक ही बंदा है तो कॉल हिम, दैट्स इट. which fellow to call, that question won't come. When the question doesn't come, then this colored shirt pant wala call, you will not be told, because है एक ही बंदा उधर. एग्जाम्पल है ना, वो बंदा खड़ा है ना, उसको बुलाओ बस. 4 बंदे हैं तो उनमें से जो बीच वाला है, मोटा है, तगड़ा, उसको बुलाओ. बीच वाला, मोटा, तगड़ा, देर ऑल विशेषणास. Visheshanas are possible when the objects are many with different visheshanas, even belonging to sajati. Vijati है तो problem नहीं होता. Then because there is one person, one dog is there. So there, call the person is enough. This person will not understand. मैं आदमी को बुलाऊं कि कुत्ता को बुलाऊं, क्योंकि they are different जाति. Bring the dog means he'll not bring the man, though he is barking. So vijatiya samasya nahi idhar. Sajati mein hi, because of the different visheshanas, the objects are there. Then specific objects is required, we need to use the visheshana. So when ekavastu is there, nahi ekasmin eva vastuni visheshana antara yogat. There is no need of visheshana when the vastu is one. Example is Aditya. Yata aso eka Aditya iti. Tata, now, after telling his point, after giving his example of Surya Bhagavan, he says point, Tata ekam cha Brahma. ब्रह्म कितने बताइए गुरुजी? एकमेव ब्रह्म ना, आप बताओ कितने गुरु? एक ही है। अब एक ही ब्रह्म है एंड ना ब्रह्मांतराणी, इतने सारे ब्रह्म थोड़ी हैं, एक ही है। देन when Brahman is one alone, येभ्यः विशेष्यते नीलोत्पलवत्. There are so many utpalas, therefore Neela Utpala you bring, it can be told. No, are there so many Brahman, or you have to bring Sachidananda Brahma? As if there is Asat, Achit, Anananda Brahma also is there. That you separate the Sachidananda Brahma and call. ऐसा है क्या? दो तो तीन तीन चार चार ब्रह्मे बेटा, तीन चार ब्रह्म है ना, उसमें जो सत्यचित आनंद वाला ब्रह्म उसको लाना है ना, बाकी को छोड़ के आना. See that question's importance. And it helps us even to understand that Sachidananda Brahma, Satyam Jnananda Brahma is Ekameva Advitiyam. Even to add the next word, the question asked by Purapakshi, and further the sentence used by him becomes useful. It will be seen in future. Now Siddhanti starts explaining. Here onwards, very deep contemplation and inquiry begins to answer him. What he says, कि लक्षणार्थत्वात् विशेषाणाम विशेषणानाम. The Visheshanas which are told as Satyam Jnanamandaram, they are the not Visheshanas as if to separate it from other objects. So, in fact, they are the not Visheshana, though they are used as Visheshana, but they are actually the Lakshana only. मतलब क्या हुआ? विशेषण रूप में बताने वाले लक्षण ब्रह्म के स्वरूप लक्षण है, ना कि विशेषण कि उस ब्रह्म को वो डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं और ब्रह्म के अलावा और कुछ चीज है उससे सेपरेट करने के लिए. It's not that there is something other than Brahma is there which has some qualities. Therefore, to differentiate from that, the qualities or the adjectives of Brahma are spoken here as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So, Satyam Jnanam Anantam are Visheshanas without becoming Visheshanas. Then what do you mean by Visheshana without becoming Visheshana? It is only the Lakshana. Okay, so there are two things. Vishesh adjectives are two type. One is descriptive adjective, listen carefully. Second is the indicative adjective. In the description adjective, the descriptions which we use, they come and go, they may change. But an indicative adjective जो होता है ना, it is always the same. It doesn't change in it. Descriptions will change. Like he's a man. It's an indicative adjective. That person standing is a man. It never changes as long as he is alive. But the descriptive adjective that he is young or middle-aged or old, they are not indicative. They are descriptive because they go on changing. He will not stay as young all the time. He becomes middle-aged and old. बनते रहते हैं कि नहीं? So, though it is Visheshana, that Visheshana is indicating the Lakshana of it or describing it, we must know. This again tells us another beautiful idea that Brahman is non-descriptive. Brahman is only experiential. And to experience him, some Lakshanas have to be told. Those Lakshanas are not description of Brahman. They are the Lakshanas of Brahman. You should know. Lakshana Yukta adjective, then Vyakhyana Yukta adjective. Like a person you take. He is a person, just now I said. It is the Lakshana Yukta adjective. But Vyakhyana Yukta adjective, that's why anybody we talk about, we talk only about Vyakhyana Yukta only, not Lakshana. Then we say is doctor, is lawyer, is millionaire, is... ये सब उनके description है. He is not, none of them are near that fellow. We are talking directly about that person. That person will say as only man, that's it. That is a Lakshana. बाकी सारे adjectives description है. They come and go. He may give up that medical profession, he can give up all, but he can't give up being a man. So, what is the starting point? Lakshana arthatvat visheshananam. The Visheshanas which are used for Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anandam, they are not the Visheshanas as you think, that they are describing Brahman so that Brahman is brought from the other things or other Brahman. Though we had to use those words. Therefore, again we are saying this is not that type of Visheshan of description, but it is only the Lakshana, direct Lakshana. For example, in the lotus blue, that blue color of the lotus is Visheshana. And this Visheshana is descriptive. And because it's descriptive Visheshana, the lotus blue color need not stay all the time. When the hot sun is there, when the sun's hot effect, say, the blue color of it will fade away by evening. So that is descriptive lotus. Descriptiveness is the blueness of the lotus. In that way, because of some reason, fading away are not these Visheshanas of the Brahman called as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. They are the Lakshana. They are not the Varnana. तो ये ब्रह्म को वर्णन नहीं कर रहे हैं, डिस्क्राइब ना कर रहे हैं, ये लक्षण बता रहे हैं. Therefore, लक्षणात्मक विशेषण, not वर्णनात्मक विशेषण. Not they are visheshana. Therefore, Brahman is described without describing. That is the beauty of him. And through those descriptions, which are not description, only we reach to Brahman. And when we reach them, we will know it. Is no description required for it as an experience. But anybody asks again, you have to tell him like this only. How that is not, we are going to study every word as much clearly, detailedly as possible. To see that we justify this text and we help ourselves also in becoming a little deeper in our understanding regarding this Brahma Tattva and its these adjectives used. So what are these three? The Visheshanas. But are these Visheshanas describing Brahman? No. Then what are they doing? Indicating. What is the indication? Means Lakshana. So Lakshana Tattva Visheshanam. Now Visheshananam Nayam Doshaha. Because these words are the indicators, not the descriptors, therefore there is no dosha that the Brahma can be spoken with these three words. His objection is one. There is only one Surya, so all Lakshanas of the Visheshana of the Surya are not required to be told. Because the Visheshana you have to tell only if there are many Vishesha with different Visheshanas. Brahman is one, not many Brahmans. What is the need of Lakshana? उसके बोलने में क्या जरूरत है? This is a big thing. That is why, unless Brahma Swarupa Lakshanas are understood and through that the contemplation is done, then the Brahman obtained which the Paraprapti happens, we cannot reach to it. Very specific, these are all. These are all things we don't understand right now. When we become Sattva-guni and then our desire for Paramatma Prapti becomes stronger and stronger, at that time when we sit for meditation, what helps us? Only these descriptions. Only these clarities will help us that time. So up to what we have come today, these are the indicative definitions, not descriptive definitions. They are the Lakshanarthaka Visheshana, not the Visheshanas to separate this from the other Visheshya. This much is this. Then we will see tomorrow when we come. Yasmat Lakshanartha Pradhanani Visheshani na Visheshna Pradhanani eva ka punha Lakshana Lakshayo Visheshna Visheshyo va Vishesha iduchyate samana jatibhya eva nivartakani Visheshnan Visheshyasya Lakshanam tu sarvata eva yata avakasha pradatru akasham iti Lakshanarthancha vakyamita vochama. Then Satya Adi Shabda Navarasparam Sambadhyante Parattatvat Visheshartha Hite Ata Ekaika Vishesha Shabda Parasparam Nirapeksha Brahma Shabdena Sambandhyate Satyam Brahma Jnanam Brahma Anantam Brahma Iti. Having given this much introduction, then he takes up the explanation of one word Satyam Iti. Then the description Yad Rupena Yat Nishchitam Tad Rupam Na Vyavicharati Tat Satyam Yad Rupena Nishchitam Yat Tad Rupam Vyavicharat Anrutam Iti Uchyate Ata Vikaraha Anrutam Vacharammanam Vikaraha Namadheyam Rutiketyav Satyam. So clear, so excellent, so wonderful is this study or discussion. Next 1 week, don't miss the class for any reason, because repeatedly saying this, we will try to clearly understand both Mula Mantra as well as Bhashya, so that what exactly to be done on the seat of meditation, we will know to discover the Brahma Tattva in us. And after gaining which, gaining that, paraprapti happens. Then sarva samsara dharma gone. There is no jiva, there is no samsara, there is no any of the dukkha ityadi. देखो. No, this is how every day, every life, the one who studies, he only becomes thorough, pakka in the theoretical knowledge. Using the theoretical knowledge and the dhyana sthiti, we will be able to reach to the Brahma Vastu. Point is what? Basically, everything is Brahman only. Other than him, nothing. But then so much of galata, gaflat is done of all this world and all that. तो इन सब से बचने के लिए हमको एक vehicle चाहिए. It's not a huge rains are there, but one coat or the umbrella, or you sit in a car, you are safe. Same way, the world, so many names and forms. Negotiating with all of them, we have to discover the Brahman. So, for that, these are all the explanations, struggles, efforts. We'll see tomorrow. The explanation, what is the difference between descriptive adjective as well as indicative adjective, how they are separate from each other. And in that contemplation only, more clarity comes to us about what is Brahma Tattva. But on the deep meditation on this, it is automatic. The contemplation of this reaches us to our own self. Like उस जगह मुंबई जाने वाले ट्रेन में बैठ रहो, अब कुछ करना नहीं, बैठ जाओ, it will take you to Bombay. So the contemplation of these words will take us to the actual real me, the self, which is Brahman. Om 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 Om. May we all be tuned to Bhashyam through the main text Taittiriya Brahmananda Valli, where Brahma Tattva is given for us our Paraprapti. May we get this knowledge by theory, by practice, and by experience in this very life, very soon, at this very moment. For that, whatever the Tyaga to be done, whatever the Sadhana to be done, whatever the Upasana to be done to get blessings of Bhagavan, Guru, and Shruti Mata, may we do it, may we be available for that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramanashibhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Om Tatsat Brahmarpanam. Tomorrow, straight away, from the Prashna of the Purva Pakshi and Bhashya Kara Siddhantis Uttaram, from there we start and take up. Thank you. Hari Om all.